artificial intelligence. And the good thing about it and the trend and where we've moved to in the world today, not just Nigeria, globally, is the fact that AI is now a thing that has come to stay. Is the present, is the future of the world at large. It's the present, is the future of everything that we have to do, every aspect of our lives, be it our personal lives, be it our business, be it our anything we can think of, right? There's AI solution for you, and it keep getting better and better, right? So it is very important that we embrace AI and courtesy of the business of just like we would always do, right? Gearing up with the capacity we need as business owners to efficiently grow our business, to efficiently operate our business, to efficiently sustain our business with the right information, with the right tools, with the right strategy. TBH, the business hub, would always help us with that. And that's why today, TBH, in collaboration with Sterling and in collaboration with AI Nigeria, are bringing us this very exciting discussion on how AI tools can be used to grow our business, how AI tools can be used to sustain our business, and how AI tools can be used to move our business from point A to point C, because things are now better. You're not just using your ideas, you're also using ideas of a system, a consolidated idea of different people. Because I don't want to speak about AI because it's a very interesting conversation that I think that everyone should also listen on and learn on. And no other person today would be taking us on that than Oreoluwa Olaitan. Good evening, Ore. Please, can you confirm you can hear me? Good evening, Ore.
Hi, good
Okay.
evening. Yes, I can hear you well.
Yes. I'm going to introduce Ore now. I just wanted us to see who our interesting speaker would be. And it's not that person, like I said, Oreoluwa Olaitan, that just said an hello to us now. Who is Oreoluwa? Oreoluwa is an AI entrepreneur and expert shaping the future of intelligence across Africa at the intersection of technology and emerging markets. He built ventures that apply AI to solve real-world challenges at scale. He leads applied AI at AI in Nigeria, where his team turns cutting-edge research into deployable solutions for industries and communities. Previously, co-founded of thousands of users across Africa. As a technical operator, he has led cross-border data teams at fintech, driving innovations in credit risk modeling, debt recovery automation, and algorithm optimization. He has an MBA from the Asia School of Business in collaboration with MIT Sloan, and he speaks fluently on building responsible, inclusive AI for frontier markets. So you would agree with me that Oreoluwa is the man for this discussion, and is great business. Good evening, good afternoon again, Oreoluwa. You have the floor. Courtesy of TV insightful journey. And for questions, please, so that we do not lose our life, we can always drop our questions in the chat room, the Q&A session, and we will be taking the questions as Ore also speaks and presents to us on AI implementation for MSMEs. Please, it's not late to invite your other MSME colleagues, your other MSME friends that are not yet on this call. Please don't share the registration link with them and let them join us now. It's never too late. No knowledge is lost. Remember, and trust me, you're going to be taking out one or two things from this session today, if not 100. You're going to be taking out at least 3 things that you'll be able to use in your business. Not just yet again another session where people will just come and bamboozle you or speak. No, we're going to be speaking to you on things that you can implement immediately, effect in your business, and see the effect in your business. Good afternoon, Ore. You have the floor. We'd like for you to take us on this train and this journey on how AI can help our business.
Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you for the warm welcome. I felt like we're already getting into the session, the discussion topic already. Very exciting. Hi again, welcome everyone. My name is Oreoluwa, and I'm very excited to be here taking this session today. Before we go further in the discussion, I'd just like to know if you can drop in the chat what businesses we do. So, what do we do? I see there are a number of attendees present already. That's very exciting. Can we just drop in the chat what does our business do? I'd like to get an idea of what we do. Are you into, are you a trader? Do you sell items? Do you provide services? Can I see in the chat? Okay, I'm seeing some responses. PPMV, commerce and retail, agro-food processing, farming. Okay, health and wellness services and products. Awesome. Lafaya buy and veils from scratch. Awesome. Purchase and supply procurement services. Awesome. Haulage businesses, logistics service provider. Wow. Supply chain logistics and agriculture. I'm very excited to see such diversity of businesses and business sectors represented here. CSC registration services. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'll share my screen. Esther, please confirm once you can see my screen, and then we'll begin with the presentation.
Not yet, but I believe it's coming up. Yes, it's up now.
Okay. So like Esther mentioned during the presentation, I think by now we've heard a number of discussions and conversations around AI. So today the goal is not for us to come back here and have these same discussions again. The goal is that we're able to bring us all into a session where we actually know where to begin and what to do with artificial intelligence. And this is very important because there's a lot of conceptions and misconceptions about what AI is today. When some people think of AI, they think of coding, coding, coding. Others think of robots when they think of AI. But what AI essentially is a way of working smarter and better and being able to get better results from what you do every single day. And so the goal during this session is that we are able to understand AI in simple English. You can think of this as an AI session for Nigeria and for businesses in Nigeria, where we break down this concept, break down this seemingly sophisticated thing, and understand in a very practical way what we can do with artificial intelligence in our businesses and how it can take us from where we are to where we desire to be as a business. Also, thing to note is that a number of businesses are already using AI today. There are those who are wondering what AI is. There are those who are confused. There are those who want nothing to do with AI. And there are those who are using AI and already getting results for the businesses. And the goal is that we want to help the businesses that are on this call today, the business owners on this call today, empower you with this understanding that you can then use and harness to drive your business forward. And this matters because Nigeria has over 41 medium, small, and medium and small enterprises, small and medium enterprises rather, and yet 90% of them are still running in very manual ways. I know if I ask, you know, us randomly in this group today, maybe there are a number of our processes that are already automated, but a vast majority of our processes are still very manual. Some of us still keep books with book and pen. Some of us still use some very obsolete methods and archaic methods to do the things we do on a daily basis. And what this means is that we are missing a lot of opportunities. Because when you have businesses that are automating things, that are driving things with machines, that are automated their processes, they have been able to save time, money, and resources by doing that. And when you, who is competing with them, is using old processes or manual processes, it's a lot of missed opportunity there. And the challenge is that the world has become more global than ever before. The world you can consider now to be a global village. There are businesses everywhere across the world, through the internet, obviously, that are doing business anywhere in the world. which means your target market is not only Nigeria, your target market is not only Africa, it's not West Africa. Your target market only is not, Africa and Europe. Your target market is the entire world. And at every point in time, you are competing with people that are doing their businesses across the world. And so it's very important that you're able to build your system in such a way that you run efficiently, you run smoothly, you offer competitive service so that you as a small and medium business owner can compete with other businesses out there. And AI offers the opportunity for you to save time, to serve your customers better, and compete with the big companies. And the promise is that at the end of this session, you will have one practical step or one practical action item that you can take away and deploy into your business right away. So let's get started. What is AI really, and why do we need it for our businesses? At the very core of it, artificial intelligence is a form of machine intelligence that mimics human intelligence. And this is done through a process known as machine learning. In simple terms, artificial intelligence is designed to think, to process, and to respond the same way a human does. Artificial intelligence follows the cognitive process of the human mind. And so the final state of AI would be an AI that is able to do exactly and do things exactly like humans or even better than humans. And what that means is that when you use AI in your business, you are using AI as a digital assistant. It's like an assistant that you have. I want us to think of this and don't forget. AI is like an assistant to you in your business. It's an assistant to you in your business. An assistant that doesn't get tired. An assistant that doesn't need to sleep. An assistant that doesn't need to go on leave. It's an assistant that is always there at every point in time to provide you the things, the processes, the support, and the frameworks that you need to drive your business forward. And it excels at tasks that require learning, pattern recognition, and prediction. All this will become clearer when we go into specific verticals of how AI is helping small businesses today. But the thing about AI is that it's not a new thing. AI has been around for a very long time. It's been around for years now. You have it in your Gmail, for example. If you are writing an email, you probably see an opportunity, or you see sometimes when you're typing or you're trying to complete something, even your phone, your Android phone, your iPhone, when you're typing, you see sometimes it to suggest something to you. That is artificial intelligence already. When you're using Google Map, for example, and Google is telling you, oh, don't take this route today, turn around and take this other route. That's artificial intelligence. Or if you're on TikTok or Instagram, social media, I think most business owners today are on social media. If you're any of these channels, when you go on the channels, the things you see, those posts that you like, and you keep watching, I keep watching. You say you only want to spend 5 minutes on Instagram. Now you spend 30 minutes, you spend 1 hour because you keep liking all the posts you're seeing. That's AI at work. It's a personalized algorithm that understands and takes into recognition the things that you like, the things that you enjoy, to then serve you on the same platform. I will talk about this again in more detail. And so when we think of artificial intelligence in the small business, let's not think of it as a robot at work or saying, oh, you need robotics, because yes, in truth, robotics is also one of the arms of artificial intelligence, is one of the domains in AI, but not everything has to do with robots. Think of it like a smart system, like a brain that is supporting your business. So why do MSMEs need AI now more than ever? I've been a small business owner myself. If you listen to the introduction, you'd have heard that I founded two startups. One was NIF AI. It's actually an AI-powered CRM solution for small and medium businesses. The other was Livio Food. And one of the things that drove me to creating NIF, for example, was the fact that more than ever before, you can see that the disparity or the gap between small businesses and big businesses is getting wider and wider. Why is this? Well, small businesses have limited resources. Large businesses have less limited resources, if I can say. Their resources are less limited than that of small businesses, which gives them the opportunity to keep investing and investing and reinvesting in technology that makes work better. And if you are familiar with economics, you would know that when you technology is one of those systems that helps to drive economies forward or drive businesses forward. And this continues to leave a gap between small and medium businesses that continues to get wider and wider and wider. But the truth or the reality is that small and medium businesses are the most important in the Nigerian context. In Nigeria, for example, 76% of people that are employed by micro, small, and medium businesses, which means that small businesses are the backbone of Nigeria's economy. And it's very important for us to have this discussion on how to use technology forward, because the success of MSMEs is the success um, of Nigeria, because the success of MSMEs is the success of our economies. And bringing this knowledge, bringing this insight, bringing the possibility of deploying and the possibilities of this technology to small businesses is more important than ever before. And when we talk about how AI helps small businesses, there are three key things that AI can help you do today as a small business owner. Number one is to automate routine tasks. That's referring to tasks that you do over and over again, like creating a report, generating a report, tracking a process, and things like that. AI can help you automate that. Number two is to help you analyze customers. At the end of the day, we all have different reasons of being in business. We all have different reasons why we're in business. But the reality at the end of the day is that um, if we're not making money from the business, then what's the purpose of it? So everybody's after customers, because at the end of the day, everybody's after revenue and their bottom line at the end of the day. And AI can offers you the opportunity to understand your customers better, understand your customers faster, so that you can offer tailored and personalized experiences to each of your customers. And then the last thing that AI would help you do is to make database decisions. Database decisions refers to insights that are from the reality of your business. One of the missed opportunities for a lot of startups is that we are sitting on a pile of data, and we don't use this data. And because we don't use this data, we're unable to make decisions that drive our businesses forward. How many people here know that if I get your bank statement today and I use AI to analyze your bank statement, I'll be able to tell you certain things about your person? From your spending habits, from the things you buy, from the way you buy things, from how you spend, from your opening and closing balances. Today, I can look at your bank statement and tell you, oh, this is this kind of person, that's that kind of person. And the same way we have data littered across our business. But because we don't analyze and use this data, we're unable to make insights that drive our businesses forward. For example, do you know that if you analyze your business and you realize that most of your customers are coming from, say, for example, your business is based in the East, but most of your customers are coming from Lagos. Do you know that that offers you an opportunity to increase your marketing spend in Lagos, and that would help you drive in revenue at the end of the day? And this is not a one size fits all. Business is never a one size fits all. Everybody needs to understand their business, understand their industry, understand their customer segment, understand their business domain to be able to make decisions that actually drives their revenue. Now, that was difficult initially. Let's be honest. It to me, you'd have to hire more people on the business, hire technical skills, even getting the required talent. You're competing with, you want a data analyst, for example, you would need to compete with a huge financial institution, for example, to hire a data analyst that is offering them 4 times, 5 times what you have to offer them to hire them. But now you don't need a data analyst anymore. AI can be your data analyst. The same things you'd have needed expertise for, AI now offers it to you. And that allows small businesses to be faster, more adaptable, and more agile than ever. In fact, let me share an interesting fact with you. The largest majority of businesses that are driving or adopting AI today are small and medium businesses. In the world, like globally, it's small and medium businesses that are deploying AI the most today, because they've realized that it offers them a potential to run, like it's like having AI on your team is just having additional team members. You have agentic AI members on your team that allows you to drive better. Satya Nadella, for example, the CEO of Microsoft, said that in the future, what he sees is that every single employee at Microsoft will be leading a team of AI agents. And that's how I want us to think about our small businesses today, as having AI as staff members on your team that can help you to perform certain functions and deliver better results. And just in case you're wondering, no, you do not have to get a tech team before you can get started. These are myths and truths of what AI is and what AI is not. One of the common myths is that AI is expensive. Is that true? Yes, it is true. AI is expensive, but does that mean small businesses cannot use it? No. In my experience, advising businesses in AI, building out AI myself, and consulting for companies in AI, one of the things I've found is that your cost in AI, your expense in AI is actually directly proportional to the size of your business. And so while AI requires money, the cost of AI for a small business is not going to be the same as the cost of AI for an established business, for a big business. So there are many tools, very many tools you can use that are free or that are less than 20,000 naira a month that you can use to drive your business forward. Another misconception is that AI is too complex. Nah, AI is not complex. If I ask here, many of us already use ChatGPT. We already use Claude. We already use Meta AI. We engage with AI on WhatsApp. Is that complex? No. AI is just like that. If you can use WhatsApp, then you can use AI. Another conception is a misconception is that AI will replace people. I look at it from a workflow perspective. AI replaces mundane and repetitive tasks, it doesn't replace people. But those who do mundane and repetitive tasks are likely to be replaced, not because AI replaces people, but because of the nature of the tasks that they do. And yes, like we always hear, AI requires a lot of data. That is true, but you can start with AI where you are today, even if all you have is a sales record. So AI will not replace you. You are likely to be more replaced by a business owner that is using AI effectively in their business. So very quickly, we'll be talking about how to find your first AI opportunity, to look through your business and to identify opportunities for you to drive AI forward in your business. We'll look at examples around stock keeping, around follow-ups, repetitive replies, and payment reminders. I would advise that at this point, if you don't already, you should get a pen and paper with you that you'd use for the presentation. Okay, I have a few examples here of some case studies before and after AI. And we're using a salon, for example. There's a business owner that owns a salon in Kaduna. Previously, Yakubu would spend 2 hours a day, daily and manually confirming bookings when customers reach out and say, oh, I want to, some customers are walking customers. Other customers are people that would come, that would reach out to him on WhatsApp and say, hey, can you come and cut my hair at home? Can you come and do this? Can you come and do that? And previously, they would do, they would get booked multiple times a day. You would spend a lot of hours, at least 2 hours a day, doing the same thing. And customers are frustrated, because obviously he does the same thing over and over again and it delays, he's not responding to them fast enough. But now he's using a WhatsApp bot that without any interference, without someone getting involved, people can come in and book for his services. Number one. Number two, they don't have to double book because AI automatically tracks the booking to ensure that time slots that are already booked are taken away. And then customers also get reminders so that they don't just book, they also follow up on their appointment. So he no longer gets double booked. He saves 10 hours a day. And this is something very important. You see, a lot of big businesses understand this, but a lot of small businesses don't understand this. And this is why you'd see the owner of a small business trying to do for himself what he can use a tool to do or what he can get someone to do, because we don't realize that time is money. A founder, for example, of a business should not be spending time manually logging things or manually responding to certain things anymore. Those processes are supposed to be automated because time is money, and the time you are spending doing that could have been used to do and drive other things. Okay, but because we don't realize that time is money, we spend a lot of our time doing these mundane things, doing these repetitive tasks, and we are missing out on a lot of opportunity. And because he's been able to automate his processes, clients are satisfied, they are happier, he's getting more customers, he's getting more bookings are faster. And because he's fast in his responses, customers are satisfied with his responses. And so you don't need to be a tech person to use AI. Anybody can use AI. And that brings us to the close of the first part of this presentation, and shortly we'll be going to where AI fits in your business today. But before we go on, I'd just like to confirm if we have any questions from the chat. Any questions so far?
Hi, Ore. We have none for now.
Okay,
I
awesome.
can see
Thank you.
that some hands are raised up. Please, if you have questions, just okay. One question just dropped now. Okay. The first question here is how can AI help in
Somebody are muted. Okay, so the question says, um, okay.
Or maybe we'll just continue, and by the time we get to the
Yes,
end of
please,
the
let's
second
just
segment,
continue. I can't seem
by the time
to.
we get to the end of the second segment,
Yes, please,
um,
let's just
we
go
will
ahead.
we will
Thank
have that
you.
answered. Also,
Okay, how can AI help in the knowledge business?
okay. So for all businesses, as if you're following, as you can see my screen right now, for all businesses that we have here, there are three main areas that I would speak to on where AI can help you today. Um, The first is customer service. By the way, I think this is a good point to say happy customer service week to everyone. I think organizations across Nigeria have been celebrating customer service week since the beginning of the week. And I think today is the final day. So happy customer service week to everyone. And why do we celebrate customer service week? It is because customers are the backbone of every business. And the way you treat your customers, the way you respond to your customers, the way you engage with your customers determines how well your business will do or not. After years of building and doing businesses, I've come to see that um, businesses or the success of businesses is very tied to the relationship between the business and the customer. How well you bring in your customer. And so customer service is extremely important. The second is marketing and sales. You want to make money. To make money means that you need to get the right customers. To get the right customers means you need to appeal to the right customers. So how do you appeal to the right customers? How do you find the right people? How do you find people who are going to pay for your service? Not people who will be speaking English to you, or not people who will be asking you, hey, do you have this in stock? You say yes. And then buy, they're not buying. Then they come back 2 weeks later and say, do you still have this in stock? No, you want people who are able to buy your product immediately. And the last is, with operations. Someone asks for haulage business. When you deal in logistics, for example, operations is one of the main bottlenecks when it comes to supply chain and logistics. And AI helps in that process of management or managing systems that have to do with operations. So it's not like a giant system. It's a toolkit that you need to pick to address your area of pain point, to address your pain point. And every business has a different pain point. The pain point that my business had is not the same as what your business has. It's not the same as what another business has, which means that the ways we are going to use AI in our businesses are also not the same. So starting with customer experience, for example, I came to realize last year that while doing some research, I found that the attention span of the average customer is significantly lower now. I mean, significantly lower. If a customer responds or asks for something and you cannot respond immediately, they leave. And this is not something that has happened to me. It's something I've also done. I go on Instagram, for example, I see a vendor. I'm like, oh, let me patronize this vendor. I get something from them. I ask them a question, is this thing available? They don't reply to me immediately. And because they don't reply immediately, I go to someone else. The moment that person responds, I buy, and that's it. And then somebody's coming back 2 hours later and saying, I saw your message. I was like, oh, yeah, I already got it. Thank you very much. What just happened? That first business just missed a business opportunity. Why? Because they were not responsive enough to customers. When you're working in an age where customers they are used to WhatsApp, they are used to Instagram, they are used to instant messaging. The moment they text, they expect responses. you cannot use old systems to respond to such customers anymore. You need systems that will be able to provide responses to them at every point in time that they engage with you. And that's one of the ways AI can help, because AI can serve as a support system, a first level of support for your customer service. For example, there are AI systems today like Zendesk, there are AI systems that respond on IO, like Meta Inbox that can help you respond to customers when they make inquiries. Majority of when I did an analysis of all the inbound messages that comes to businesses, majority of those inbounds are inquiries. How do I do this? How do I do that? How much is this? How much is that? If you spend all your time doing how much, you'll be wasting a lot of time. But with AI, you're able to provide these responses. You create something called an FAQ, for example, set it up on a simple bot. With the bot, when customers reach out to you, either on WhatsApp, on your website, or whatever channel you sell with, the bot is able to provide responses to them, answer all those questions, and it ensures that you are available 24/7. Even the most hardworking business owners are going to sleep at some point in time, but AI can serve as a all-round support for your business at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, ensuring that you have someone that can handle those first level of support. And why I keep saying first level support is that it's not that AI would replace entirely customer service, because customer service is a highly personalized thing. But that first level of support can be handled by AI, while you then offer more specific, more personalized experiences to those customers. For example, I know of a restaurant in Lekki that uses WhatsApp bots to book. And within the first week that they deployed that bot, they got about a 30% increase in bookings. Because previously people would reach out to them, they would miss those messages and respond later when those people have found somewhere else to order or to dine. But because they're using a WhatsApp bot, they're able to take all of those messages at once. Because AI is not, it doesn't get overwhelmed. It can handle as many inquiries, as many requests, as many people as possible. So a one-man business can serve 1,000 people. A 10-man business can serve 10,000 people, because you now have AI assisting you in the process. With marketing is also better, faster, more interesting with AI. In fact, I think many of us that are on social media, you'd have seen how a number of businesses are starting to use AI for marketing. Some are using like VO3, Google VO3 to create videos. Some are using Sora to create videos. Some are using Canva and so many of these other tools to create videos. And that's one leg to it, the part of content creation. Okay. With content creation, you have tools that can help you create content faster and better. So you as a business owner, you needed a large team to respond or create content. Content is a long process. First, you draft the content, you edit the content, you run the ads, you do all these things. Long process, expensive process. With AI, you can now do this easier. And so you need less people doing this because you have AI to assist you in the process. You can use, for example, ChatGPT to create marketing posts and content to post. You have Canva to design images and pictures with Canva Magic. You have Meta Ads that is powered by AI to help you target the right customers that would buy your business. And interestingly, globally, what we are seeing is that AI ads are seeing about a 20 to 40% better conversion in ads than regular ads. And that offers a significant opportunity for businesses to sell better. The second is in the point of understanding and analyzing your customer segment. And I'll still speak to this in the next slide, where you understand how to sell to your customers, you understand your customer persona. If I asked a business owner here, and I'm saying this because I've done the theoretical work and I've done the hard work. I have an MBA, and in MBA, I was taught in business school, I was taught about businesses and all the processes that are involved in creating a business. So I understand those processes, but I also understand the reality on ground. And one of the things that I'm thankful I've been able to do is to bridge that gap, that reality, and being able to merge, my knowledge from business school to the reality that is on ground today. And it's still a very important thing to understand your customer persona. Who is your customer? What does your customer want? What is what's your customer most sensitive to? Is it price? Is it quality? And if it's quality, how do you personalize? How do you package your marketing strategy in such a way that it speaks to what your ideal customer profile is looking for? That's another thing. And then you have AI for stock keeping. You have, for example, Book that can help you keep stocks. There are a couple of tools out there. Inventora AI is another tool that can help you keep stock. Not just keep stock, but also offer you insights from the stock keeping process so they're able to know what decisions to take. So what items are selling quicker, for example, you want to know which items are people buying the most, which items are people not buying the most. And if not, if they're not buying it, why are they not buying those things? Also helps you predict demand. For example, oh, between this week and next week, 50 people are going to request for this item. It can tell you hypothetically. And what that means is that you don't have to buy 100 of that item, so you have 50 inventory that is not moving away. You buy exactly, or you buy only just what you need. And also tracking of items in real time, so you know when you're running low on supply and when you need to get more. So just a few case studies. For example, there's a case study of Dan, who is a farmer, lives in Jos. He's an IT analyst, and on the weekend he's a farmer. And one of his challenges is that he has faced unstable weather yields. He's unable to predict how his harvest would be because of technology and because of uncertainties and these variabilities. He installed, for example, an Eden AI sensor that costs just 20K to set up. And by being able to track the soil, track temperature, and track humidity, he was able to predict certain things around his yield that helped him to have produce 400 kg more than he would normally do with pepper, like a 20% higher yield, and reduce a lot of water waste by just deploying AI. And that's one of the real things we're having, where AI meets every business. And that's the interesting thing about AI. Artificial intelligence is industry agnostic in the sense that it does not speak to just one industry. It speaks to virtually any industry, any person at all can use AI. It's not only for finance, it's not only for this, it's not only for that. Any industry, any person can deploy and use AI in their businesses. There are a couple of other examples here. For example, you have Soda Pop in the USA. It's a small business that has a chatbot that helps them to handle about 1,000 comments every week. And because of that, they need less people. So before they would have had to hire a team of 15, a team of 20 to respond to 1,000 people. But now because they're using AI, they only need a team of 2 people to respond to 1,000 messages, helping them save time, save resources, save money. You have Calgary in the US as well that is doing AI-powered marketing and booking. And this has helped them to increase their conversion rate by 60% because they know their customers better and they're able to target the customers better. And there are a couple of these things in India as well, a couple of startups in India as well. You have India Farm in the US that are doing some form of AI-powered irrigation to supply and manage their businesses. And so, one of the key things that I want us to think of, one of the things I want us to consider at this point in the presentation is I want you to start thinking of your business right now. Think of your business. I remember saying that we all needed to get I remember saying that we needed to get a pen and paper ready, right? So get your pen and paper right now. And I want you to start thinking about your business and list the top 5 things on a daily basis. What are those top 5 things that stress you the most? What are the top 5 things that you do that take your time the most? The top 5 most stressful, most difficult things that you have in your business. I want us to document that and just start thinking about it. While I open the floor to questions before we move to the last part of this presentation. Esther, do you have any questions?
Yes, please. Ore, so Ore said we should bring out our pen and paper. Do we all have that now? I guess he wants to take us through a small quiz, I guess. He wants us to write as it pertains to our business, our personal experience. I'm sure that's what everyone wants us to do, right? Or I think I'm
Yes,
correct.
I would like us to I would like us to have we need a pen and paper because this last step, we don't just want to talk. We want to go into the details of it. We want to go into your first step. How do you get from everything we've said so far? Like we said, we don't want to just talk here. We want to tell you how to get from where you are to where you need to be. We want to clear any confusions, clear any misconceptions, and offer you the support you require to get started with AI today. So get your pen and paper. This last part is a bit practical because I'll be asking questions and I'll be telling you to do certain things and complete certain exercises on how to drive your business forward. Are we ready? Are we good to go?
Just to add to what Ore had said, so I'd seen a couple of questions in the room to say people are asking, how can AI help me in renewable energy? How can AI help me in there are different businesses, right? So you see why it's important that everybody, every one of us on this call bring out our pens and paper because what applies to someone in the renewable energy industry might not apply to someone that is in the what now in other industries in the agri industry. Say we know spanning across the different things we do. So the AI might be the same thing, but what we want to solve, what takes our time, just like Ori had said, would vary obviously. So that's why we need to write it down so that we can now discuss how we can, settle those issues and better the operations and of those things that takes our time today that probably because of the knowledge know-how we today do not know how to solve those problems and it takes our time. So please, I'm encouraging and just putting a word to what Ore had said again, just to give us an insight why we need to bring out the pen and paper. Because some of us might be thinking, why am I bringing out the pen and paper? Yeah, it's just for us to be able to ideate and get it right
And the
in this
world has
century.
gone digital now, so you don't need to bring out your pen and paper. If you want to
Your
use a
notepad.
tab, your notepad, if you want to use
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
phone, I think that works as well. I'm still a bit old school in the sense that I like to write, from my head and use a pen and paper. But if you'd like a digital means, I think you can use whatever device that you like. Now, there are two different things. Knowing and doing are not the same thing. There's a difference between the know, not just hearers or knowers, but people who do. That's what's most important. And execution is king. At any level, at any business stage, at any point in time, execution is king. It's not the knowledge you have alone that helps, it's your ability to execute the knowledge you have acquired that helps. And everywhere in the world today, people are having their lunches or their lunch eaten by those who execute. Those who don't do are having their lunch eaten by those who are doing. You're a business owner, you're not deploying technology in your business. Don't worry. Someone who's deploying technology will eat your lunch. Where are yellow taxi or cab drivers today? How many yellow taxis, how many cabs do you still see in Lagos today? What happened? They didn't use technology and they had their cab eaten by Uber, eaten by InDrive, eaten by Bolt, eaten by Lagride. So the world belongs to doers, the world belongs to those who execute. And execution doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to ensure that you are taking that step, that first step towards driving forward. So let us design very quickly your first AI experiment. So number one thing that I want everyone to do is to identify the biggest pain points that you face in your business. Okay. If it's possible, I would like after I'll take a minute for people to do this, and once that's done, I'd like a few people to unmute and just tell me what they've written down or what they've noted as the biggest pain point in their business. What slows you down the most? That's the question. Or what's the most challenging or difficult part of your business? You say, for example, I spend the most time responding to customers' messages. I spend the most time trying to design content for my business. I spend the most time trying to do this. I spend the most time trying to do that. And if possible, I'd like you to write also how long you spend doing it. For example, if your challenge is that you spend a lot of time responding to customers' requests, so tell me, do you spend 3 hours on that every day? What does that look like in a week? 3 hours a day, I don't know, 5 days a week. That's 15 hours at the end of the week. I also want to know that. Yours might be that you forget to follow up with customers. So if you're done writing down your own pain points, please, I'd like to, I think it's been a minute, so I'd like a few people to unmute and just share what those pain points are.
All right. So because of the settings, they won't be able to unmute. But please, if you
Okay,
are
can we have
done
it in the chat?
writing, yeah, you can just like
Or
raise
they
up
can
your
raise their
hand.
hand. Okay, you
Yeah, so
can
I
raise their
can pick
hand.
out and unmute you to speak.
So everything starts with the pain point. This is one of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to using AI, especially in the small business setting. Our small businesses do not have the resources to make mistakes with AI and then come back to correct those mistakes. Maybe the larger businesses, for example, even in the West, you have businesses that are spending billions of dollars using AI and trying to do different things with AI. As a small business owner, you don't have that luxury. You don't have money to learn from experience. So you want to ensure you get it right from the start. And one of the key ways you get it right is that you don't start with AI and then find a problem. No, you start with a problem and then see that AI can be used to solve that problem. And that's why we started with what? Identifying your pain point. Because if you identify your pain point, then you can know step two, what tool to use to solve that pain point. If it's writing or planning, for example, it's a thing that you can use ChatGPT for. ChatGPT is a tool that we've come to. One of the key issues we have with technology is that it normalizes at some point in time, and when it normalizes, we don't appreciate it as much as we're supposed to appreciate it. So you have a tool like ChatGPT that contains knowledge of the entire world, like everything that's ever existed on the internet is on ChatGPT. It knows literally everything that exists on the internet. Research papers, research articles, methodologies, frameworks, insight. It has everything. But the way we use it is different. And so it's maybe your problem is even something as simple to like ChatGPT is able to do for you. Okay? For example, I tell people that one of the biggest things that AI has done is the democratization of knowledge. Knowledge has always been available, but maybe we've been lazy. We've not been curious enough to pursue knowledge, to acquire knowledge. But AI has democratized it in such a way that at your fingertip, literally by your phone, you have a tool that is able to provide you all the knowledge you need. That means AI is transforming your business in two ways. Way number one, your processes, your systems, the things you are doing, like everything we talked about, operations, customer experience, sales, and marketing, but also you as a founder, because it makes you more knowledgeable, it makes you better. If you're confused about how to approach a business problem, you can take it to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT how to respond or how to solve that problem. This means you don't need to go to Harvard, you don't need to go to MIT to know what to do or to know how to do it. All the information, all the insights that you need are literally available to you at the tip of your finger. You can go on ChatGPT and get the same insight, the same knowledge you get on Harvard at Harvard on your phone. If your challenge is bookkeeping, you can use Zoho, for example. There's Timely and so many other tools that can be used for scheduling. And then you have like Chatbase for chatbot users. Also, when you're trying to use AI, it's not a one person team alone. And I'm speaking specifically now to founders who have team members, you have staff, you have employees. While you are increasing in knowledge, don't leave your team behind. While you are growing and developing yourself, do not leave your employees behind. The reason is that the sum total of your business at the end of the day is the sum total of individual members of that business. Okay. And so while you're using this technology, if you're driving technology forward and your employees are not driving, they're still behind, they will become a bottleneck in your whole technology transformation. And so you need to ensure that every member of your team is also growing along. Every member of the team understands why AI is important, understands why they need to use AI, and understands that AI is here to support and help and not to replace you. And the final thing, the final step for deploying AI in your first experiment is that AI must show workings. I usually would give like a 3 months timeline, but you can start observing the result from the second to the fourth week. But if you're not seeing time saved, which again I say time is money, If you're not seeing errors reduce, if you're not seeing your sales grow, you need to reevaluate and see if the problem you picked, back to step one, if the problem you picked is a real problem of your company, if you chose the right tool and if your team is involved again. Because the expectation is that if you follow the processes and the things we've discussed so far, you should see either an increase in efficiency and better results in terms of increase in revenue, reduction in cost, reduction in errors, increase in time savings, and better overall performance of the business. And a simple way to calculate your ROI is to measure your benefits, remove the cost, divide by the cost and multiply by 100. I think most of us here are business people, so we understand how ROI works. So how does scaling work and how does it work in the future? Now we've talked about how to design your first experiment, and I hope that we've taken note of a number of these things. Again, I'd still like to hear our thoughts in terms of number one. So now that I've run through all of them, I'd like to hear the pain points you identified, the tool you think would work, how you plan to involve your team, and how you intend to track the results of this. But once all that is done, you can start to expand AI across other channels or other problem areas of the business as well. Say, for example, you start with customer service and you start by using a chatbot. You can then incorporate inventory tools into it, and then accounting, and then ads, and even use AI as HR for human resource management. And when we think of HR, we think of only hiring, but human resource management in terms of even managing your personnel, managing payroll, and all these things are also things that AI can do. So you see the picture to the right of my screen. It looks like a very futuristic world. This is not year 2030 or 2040 like you often see in sci-fi movies. But this is your business within the next 6 to 12 months if you're able to identify the right use cases and deploy AI correctly in your business. So I want you to look forward based on all those things that we've discussed today. What does the future look like for your business in a year's time? Have you identified and seen processes that AI would automate for you and offer better efficiency, more accurate results, more insight for you that you can use to drive your business forward? You don't have to be called small always. You can be called smart because AI turns you from a small business to a smart business because the smart businesses are the businesses that are using technology. And I believe that's one of the reasons why the Business Hub exists to provide support to small and medium businesses on how to scale, how to grow, and how to increase so that you can become better, more powerful businesses. I started by stating the very important role that MSMEs play in Nigeria, and I will end by doing the same. AI plus micro, small, and medium enterprises gives you a better country, a smarter Nigeria, a better and more prosperous economy, a better, more prosperous country. Why? Because again, small and medium businesses are the backbone of this country. You employ the majority of the workforce in this country, and whatever it is that is capable of transforming or is able to transform small businesses will have an impact on the entire business and economic landscape of the country as a whole. And the goal is that we can now start using these tools. We can now start using these tools that are available to us, like artificial intelligence, not just to compete locally. Who says your business can only reach people in Lagos? Who says your business can only reach people in Nigeria? Who says you can't target West Africa or target the whole of Africa or sell to people in Australia? I know people who do business in Nigeria today and sell to the US and sell to Australia from here. And they're able to manage all this because they have technology tools that AI that they use to run their businesses more efficiently. So I want us to think ahead and think forward and think of ways and all those things that we've discussed today, not just to hear them, but to do them and take this knowledge and insight to drive our businesses forward, to move our businesses forward, so we become more proficient business owners and more importantly, build a better, more prosperous economy. I have a couple of resources here that would help, just some guidelines of tools for different things that you can use to help take your business forward. I think the Business Hub team will share and circulate this with you. But thank you, everyone. I'll be happy to take questions and comments now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ore, for that power-packed session. I believe that every one of us had learned one or two things. Thank you so much, Ore. We appreciate you. And like I promised us that at the beginning of this session, I promised us that would have like 20 things to take back home. You can all agree with me that now we have like a 50 or 100 that we are taking back home, right? Ore was very explicit with his explanation. I was able to break it down and even bring it down to home for us, bring it down to our businesses in Nigeria, yeah, and bring it and also open our eye to how AI can help us get into the global world as a whole, right? Because I believe that every business, be it small, big, or medium, right, wants to expand. You want to move from point A to a point Z, even if you're in a point M now, you want to actually move to a greater stage, right? So, and Aaron was able to break it down to us to understand how we can use AI for be it customer service, be it HR, be it different aspects of our businesses that you would agree with me that is not about it's not sector algorithm, but it's about any sector at all, any business you are holding at all, right? You can apply these things for any business. You can all agree with me that you have customers. So customer service, using AI for customer service is it cuts across every businesses. Using HR for using AI for your HR service, everyone has one or two employees that they want to be able to monitor well and to also be able to organize how they structure their HR services to them, right? So a lot that Hara was able to discuss with us. Not to flog it, I'm just going to go straight to the questions we have. And already mentioned that we should raise our electronic ends if we have for people that had written down things that pertains to their business. But I didn't see anyone, and I really was not happy with that. But it's fine. I believe that we were able to actually take a cue from what Elena later said, right? And I believe that for every one of us that has written it, but we did not just want to speak, we already have one or two answers to what we have written, how we can solve those issues today. So they might not be major issues or not, let me not use the word issues, right? But some things that we do today that has become our tradition, that just takes our time. We probably do not see it as an issue because it's just what we are known to, what we do in our daily business, right? We already know that at the end of every day, we try to do stock counts and all those things, yeah, but we can do things better, right? That's what we're trying to say here. So it's not about, oh, it's an issue. Nobody is saying it has to be an issue in the light of it, right? But just saying, even if it's not an issue, right, things can be better. And that's why AI is here, right? AI is helping us make life better. We don't have to do some things ourselves. We don't have to spend those hours where we can be doing something more to use just to do something that, oh, we're not saying you're not doing it right, or maybe you don't know how to do the calculations, right? So I'm not saying AI is going to give you another answer, but spending your time doing the calculations, AI can just help you bring it out in 1 minute. In short, 1 minute is long of a time, yeah? So imagine something that you spend like 3 hours doing, and something can help you do it in just a minute. Before you blink your eyes, is helping you do. Don't you can you even imagine the experience already? It's a very golden experience and a very good one that you should embrace, right? So I'm not going to go through the questions we have so that our
I'm
great
I'm seeing
facilitators
a
can,
yes. I'm seeing a lot of questions here on how to use AI in my renewable energy business, how
yeah.
to use AI in this business, how to use AI in this, how to use AI
Mhm.
in that. Again, I'll go back to what I said earlier in the presentation, which is that if you go this approach of how do I use this in my business, you might find yourself in a situation where you're using AI just for the sake of using AI. You'll be using AI to solve a non-existent problem or a problem that is not significant. And so the best way is not to look for, so say for example, if there's a, how do you use AI in haulage business? I can give you a number of AI powered logistic tools out there that you could probably use, but does it mean that to solve your business problem? Not necessarily, right? The best way to go about this is to first understand what the problem is, and that's why I talked about that exercise of understanding first of all what takes your time the most. What do you struggle with the most? When you understand the bottlenecks in your current operations, you can then identify what would be the right and most appropriate tool to solve that problem. I have done AI with small businesses in like my own context of building out startups. I've also done AI where we're now helping large organizations and large companies consult on how they should deploy AI. And the thing that is consistent across both is that we always start with a problem and then identify the right solution. Don't start with a solution and then look for a problem for it to solve. No, you start with a problem all the time. What takes your time the most? What do you struggle with the most? What's the most frustrating or difficult part of that? If you're able to identify that, I think, and identify really what your problem is, and you're able to frame the problem clearly, the solution will become very subtle or obvious to you. And then you get the right tool to solve the right problem. You don't end up spending a lot of money on a tool that might not solve or that will just be AI for the sake of AI. No, 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 no. We're talking about practicality here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ore. So I'm just
How
going to
can
go
AI
through.
play a
Okay,
role
yeah,
in
reading the
improving
instructions.
access to finance and credit scoring for rural entrepreneurs? Yes, I think that's a very lovely question because access to credit and finance is one of the most important things for business owners. You need investment, and you might not necessarily have the appeal that large businesses or large corporations have, but you need resources all the same. But one of the key things with businesses is that by mandate and by what by the CBN's mandate, but also by how rapidly the world is changing and the fact that people realize that small and medium businesses are really where it's happening. Okay, businesses, banks, financial these things, financial service providers are now more open to providing credit. But the problem that small business owners have is that they don't do proper bookkeeping. Either they use paper and biro and some book. You know, you check, say, where's your book, and some business owner will go and bring this out for you and say, this is how I'm keeping where I'm keeping my books. This is where I keep my account. That's one of the challenges you by using a digital tool. For example, we use Zoho for businesses or a number of other free tools that are available. You're able to keep your records digitally. This helps because the record is now digital, you can do better analysis, get better insight. And with better insight, people can see that you're a credit-worthy business and that if they give you a resource, so for example, you are making sales of 500,000 every month. This business, the financial service provider can look at your business and say, if I give this guy a loan of so amount within the next 6 months, within the next 12 months, based on the data that we have, you'll be able to repay the loan. And that increases your credit worthiness and access to finance. And I think also that's one of the reasons why the business hub is here to guide you through this process, right, Esther?
Yes, yes, yes. I agree with you. Thank you, Ore. Yes, you had it straight up. Like that's it. That's it. That's it. Thank you, Ore. Yes, Ore was able to answer that question perfectly and open our eyes again to say AI is very important. And one thing I want to also note here is that remember, we are not saying you have to have an issue first. Identifying how you can make your business better is very important. Just like I said the other time, there are some things you do today that's just been the tradition, right? We can change the narrative. Nobody says that should be just one way traffic. So it starts with being open to, okay, can this thing be done better? Can I do? In short, that's the essence of us being business innovative, right? So you might never identify it if you don't think about it. So if today you eat rice every day, the only time you can identify a problem is if you open your eyes to say, should I be using spoon to eat this rice every day? It's like critical thinking as well, right? Or should I even be eating this rice? Can I do something better? So those questions we need to also ask ourselves: the how, the words, the how can I get better? Yeah, right. All those questions, we need to ask ourselves. That's when we'll be able to identify the problem. So it might not be a problem coming to you and saying, "Oh, I'm a problem." Sometimes it doesn't come that way. It is us identifying it as being business owners and being open minded and innovative enough to say, okay, things can be done better. I don't have to do these things as I always do them, or just
We have
criticizing
we have
them. Okay.
Yes, we have another question here. It says one of the challenges faced by me is how to take very bright and clear picture and video of my product, even though I have a ring light. Can AI help with that? This is a very interesting question because if you there's a very interesting question. Again, I don't know if you've used the if you've heard of Google Gemini. It's Google Gemini is an AI tool. It's a free tool that has incredible video editing, picture editing. Okay, so for example, you can take a picture of. So I have a pen here. Okay, I have a pen here. You set your ring light. You sell the pen. You take a picture of the pen. But when you took the picture of the pen, the picture wasn't very clear. You can use Google to change. You can put the picture on Google Gemini. It will remove the background that you used initially and place this pen in a better background and be finer, so that all the pictures for your product that you're posting will look very professional. Now, be very careful of over editing the picture where it now becomes a case of what you ordered versus what you got. So you need to ensure that you prompt well so that the picture doesn't lose its originality. But definitely, there are tools like Gemini Flash 2.5, it's called Nano Banana, that you can use to edit the picture and give more professional and aesthetic distinct to your post. So definitely there's a tool that can help with that. I think someone raised something here. Does Ife have a question? See if it dropped the comment in the chat.
Okay, let me just read that one question that you've not attended to. So it says, sorry, I'm just going. How can I create unique fashion illustrations for my Afrocentric art and fashion accessories creation using Inis Paintix? I don't know if I pronounced that well. Okay, so this person is in the art and fashion industry. Person wants to know how to create better fashion illustrations.
Is it possible for the person to unmute? I'd like to hear the person speak more about what they do, if it's possible. The person can raise their hand so we can unmute the person and they can ask their question live.
People, please raise up your electronic hand. It's
Okay,
just the hand. Okay.
I think that question came from Inkiru. The fashion illustrations for Afrocentric arts. That's the person you're referring to, Ore, right?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay. Inkiru, you can unmute and speak.
Hello, Inkiru. Please speak to us. Let's make this as interactive as possible. So, because the way I read it, I might not necessarily be conveying your question so well. So, Ore wants to hear from you directly. Okay,
Inkiru has been
Inkiru.
unmuted. Inkiru, you can unmute yourself. I've given you permission to unmute.
Okay,
I
in the
think in the
absence of
meantime, we also
Inkiru
had
speaking,
a hand raised by Ife. I think Ife raised, I don't know, Ife Isi, if I'm correct.
Okay, Ife, you can unmute yourself and speak as well.
Good evening. Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi Ife, good evening.
Fine. Uh, I decided to drop that message. Look as if you both just did it for yourself instead of the audience to carry the audience along. That was not fair now. My question was concerning the renewable energy. Like I asked the question, but you said we should identify the problem first
So have
before
you
we
been able
can
to
tackle it.
identify the problem?
Yeah, one of the problem
Okay,
is also boiled down to customers.
okay,
How some of the customers, most of our clients, they reside overseas, and
okay.
they all, and our time frame is always different. That's why I was asking, how can we use the AI to harness this to make it to
So
save them.
we've not got into the roots of the problem yet. Okay, so let's dig further. I'm understanding. Okay, one of the core things that you need to handle for your business is customer service management. Is that correct?
Yes,
And the challenge is because many of your customers are not resident in Nigeria.
exactly.
Yes,
Before
and so
let me keep it, we provide both security and renewable energy. That's what we do.
okay, okay.
Yes,
So people reach out to you at different times, and now
yes,
you want to
like
understand what the best way is to manage customer experience.
yes. And secondly, we want to have them in one database because in a day we can have up to like 100 and something calls in a day. And
Okay.
secondly, because of our cameras, we normally require their email to put them online so that they'll be able to access it
How
irrespective
do
of their
you
country.
how do you currently manage? Where do you currently store your customer data?
Okay. What we do majorly, we just store it on our system, but we want to do it in a way
What
that
system do you use?
we you mean the laptop that we use
Yes. Well,
Apple
yes, you
laptop.
use like a yeah, but what do you save it on? Do you save it on Excel? Where do you save it?
Okay, I don't really know. That one is done by the media department, except I will have to find out, and I'm not in the office.
Okay. Okay, no problem. We can find that out. I just wanted to understand what the context is and then offer like two quick steps that you can actually take to help with your business today. Thank you again for raising the question. So the first for customer experience is that there are tools you can actually use. There are some bots, and I think I mentioned a couple of them. Respond.io, I think it's a free tool that you can use. It's like a bot so that when people are responding, messaging you either from WhatsApp or whatever it is, certain information about your business, certain questions that the customers would have already been, you can answer it once and for all. When you upload it into this bot, when they respond or ask questions in the future, however different the questions are, it will be able to provide responses to the businesses or the customers for you. So that's definitely one thing you can use. You can use an AI powered a chatbot, for example, for managing customer requests. And for the database, I think it's very interesting as well. If you don't have the resources to build like a sophisticated infrastructure, Notion is another tool that you can use as a database management tool. It's also AI powered. Up to a certain point, it is free, so you can use it. I use Notion to manage my own personal customer data and things like that. And then it has facilities for you to integrate it to anything that you want to integrate it in the future. Peradventure, you want to use your system to you want to use your data to do some form of analysis or personalization or run a campaign for your customers. So those are two quick recommendations I would make. Number one, use respond.io, for example, or check out a lot of WhatsApp bots. I think they'll be able to help you manage that customer experience part, and then you can use Notion for managing your customer data. Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much.
my pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ife. Thank you, Ore. So you can see that we can actually allow our participants to speak, but we just need you to identify that, signify that you want to speak by raising your electronic hands, and you'll be unmuted and given permission to speak. You can see how Ife's issue was directly solved for him. Okay. Okay, and I think with no other question that we have to, I think we don't have any other question that has not been attended to. Thank you so much once again, Ore. We appreciate you. And just like Ore had mentioned, something I want to just bring out from all Ore has said, right? That's not all, but remember, Ore had mentioned a couple of tools that are free. Remember, so nobody is saying that we want to bring it again, another cost to you. We're telling you how you can improve a lot of things with free AI tools. Free AI tools. Spoke about Notion. He spoke about Response.io. I think I heard that. Spoke about Gemini. He spoke about different at different instances. I've spoken about different AIs. You can see that there's a lot outside there that can be used to solve different issues. All you need to do is to identify the problem. And thank you, Ray, once again. This brings us to the end of the AI conversation. But remember, AI conversation never ends because there's a lot to know about AI. And like I mentioned, AI is today, is the present, and is the future. And so meaning that AI can never be overstated, and we cannot but emphasize the fact that AI should be something we should embrace in our business today and even in our personal life, right? We should not be caught on guard. We should not be caught not knowing or using AI effectively to better things we do today as humans in different aspects of our lives, our business, our careers, better experience for our customers, right? With that being said, I would like to remind us of TBH, the business hub, right? The business hub has again brought again this session for you. You all can agree with me that it was a very insightful session, and courtesy of TBH, we bring to you things that we know that are involved, things that you need to understand. So it's not yet again a session just to keep people's time, but a session to ensure that what we are learning are things that we would make use of. Last time we spoke about tax reform. Today we're talking about AI, and we would all agree with me that these are things that are very, very pressing, things that we need to learn about, things that we are very, very important for our business and MSMEs. At the business hub, we're always there to support your business grow, for your operational needs, for your sustainability, and everything, every milestone. At TBH, we help you to formalize your business. We help you with your post incorporation services. We help you with business advisory at different capacity. We help you with tools that you can make use of to better your business. There's also finance for you, credit finance. Yeah, just like somebody mentioned the other time. Credit finance on TBH, you can as well access credit finance up to 10 million naira with no collateral. Up to 10 million, note me, up to 10 million naira without collateral. And if you want to have more, you can always send us an email at hello@thebusinesshub.ng if you want to get something higher than 10 million naira. And why not? We'll take you through the process and help you to get as high as 50 million naira without collateral, courtesy of TBA. That's why we are here. But we don't just say, but we do what we say. We preach what we preach, we action what we preach. We don't just preach it, right? And I would appreciate that every one of us can always testify to how TBH has been able to open our eyes, give us insightful ideas, insightful advisory, insightful building capacity that can help us implement and affect our business directly to grow from a point A to a point Z. That's our goal. We don't want to move it from just a point A to a point B. No, we want to take it from all through the way. We would be there with you, but we want to be able to say that yes, we're able to take it from a point A to a point Z. See the distance. Yeah, it's going to be a milestone, right? State by state for the different phases, we would always be there to assist with no other questions to be no other questions. We will just bring the session to a close now. I appreciate everyone that joined. Please look forward to our other sessions that will be coming up in the course of the year. Just going to be insightful and power packed like this again. Trust me, it's even going to be better because we would always want to be innovative more. We always want to be better at every instance and at every given time. I appreciate you once again. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now. Remember, the business hub is always here for you. Ensure to tell your neighbors, tell your friends, MSMEs to join the business hub community. All you need to do is to start www.thebusinesshub.ng on any browser at all and sign up on TBH today, and you get invites for this sort of interesting session and other things that we have power pack we have for you as business owners at TBH. Thank you once again, and that brings us to the close of this session. Bye for now.